Welcome back, everyone, to day 9 of Champions Seoul, and what a result we just witnessed after losing in the opening game of Champions Seoul 2-0 on what seemed like an easy clap from Gen G. Sentinels bounced back and sent the home team, well, home. They're eliminated. Gen G's out of the competition. This whole bad boy is wide open, and the winner of the train to playoffs, it's Sen City. They stand tall today, of course, here back at the desk with Achilles and Paper Thin, who, you know, molding a little bit, but it's completely understandable. That was honestly an incredible showing from Sentinels, but man, I did not see that coming at all. Not like that.
I think unfortunately around the half is when we saw it coming. Yeah. It was looking all right. We had that ace from Texture. It's like, okay, there's some good moments happening here. That's when Texture's gonna get fired up. Expecting, you know, that run back, like when he got that ace on Lotus versus PaperX all the way back and, you know, the beginning of stage 2, like, okay, this is where he's activated. They're gonna come online, and then we got to the second half, and I'm just like, it's not coming together. Yeah. No pistol wins, no bonuses. Yeah, picked up.
Miserable.
Yeah, I mean, like, you're giving 6 rounds off the break there. I mean, it's kind of hard, you know, to like bounce back over that. Gen G were at a deficit.
This was Gen G just not looking like the Gen G that we had come to expect coming into this tournament. It's not the Gen G that we saw when they were able to take down Sentinels 2-0 at the start of this group. This was a completely different look, and it's unfortunate, but it is what it is. You know, they still had an incredible year as the first year coming together as a team, but for Sentinels, they are looking red hot.
Yeah, and credit to Sentinels here. They played really, really well.
They did.
They did a lot of good things. They did a lot of things way better than Gen G. I mean, yeah, you could look at that game and say, okay, Gen G made a lot of mistakes or didn't do the X, Y, Z, and they did, and players didn't step up behind Texture. Texture was having a tremendous performance throughout both maps, but no one was consistently there to really give Gen G that normal second layer that they have. And a lot of that was, you know, Sentinels is doing a great job picking apart the retakes, doing all these great things, using their own retakes extremely well to completely dismantle Gen G. I mean, top to bottom, Sentinels just outplayed them today.
0 retakes.
Yeah.
Inside of Gen G.
Well, I do want to say real fast, so it doesn't take anything away from the incredible season that Gen G has had. So, you know, regardless, I mean, what a run they've had, and I'm looking forward to seeing what they could do next season. Now, let's go ahead and move on to the match at hand here. We have Fnatic taking on KRU, and, you know, just like with our previous matchup, there is some history between these two teams. This time around, it goes, I'm going to take you back to the Wayback Machine, 2021, when KRU went on a run at Champions and eliminated Fnatic. Now, granted, you know, both teams looked a little different back then. Some looked way different than others, but KRU, they've been undersold time and time again. Fnatic have been hyped up time. I would say oversold, but hyped up time and time again.
Ooh, feels like on landmine.
You know, it's perfectly fine. I don't pay attention to social media anyway. So, you know, that being said, kind of feels like we're back in an interesting position here, Achilles.
Yeah, this is a little bit of a time capsule, I think, and man, would it be wild if KRU could do it again, because then the stage is set, and I have to beg the question, could KRU, do they face off against Sentinels again?
Oh, yeah.
Eliminate
Things have been wild this tournament.
Once more? You know, there's been some craziness that has happened.
There really has been, but Boaster was there on the fateful day back in 2021. So let's actually see what he had to say earlier on.
It's time to check in with Boaster from Fnatic. Now, you've spoken about this in the past, losing to KRU at Champs 2021. Keeps you up at night, so I've heard, you know, the nightmares that it gave you. So talk me through what that was like, how much you've grown as a player since then, and how much of today's, I guess, rematch is about redemption.
Yeah, when it comes to the big losses in these big international tournaments, it's a tough one to bite, especially at night time. I can't sleep. But today, I'm full trust in my boys, full confidence. Win or lose, like, we're just going to go out there and we're going to give it our all. I believe that we can win. I'm very confident in that, and that's what we have to just keep going by and just playing together. We know how good we can be. It's just, let's show up today and show everyone else how good we can be too.
What about facing Kesnet again?
Yeah, Kesnet, I remember him on Haven. That's why I picked Haven this time, because we got Alfia now, and I think Alfia will be a nice challenge for him, for sure, especially on whatever agent Alfia plays.
All right, thank you very much, Boaster. Good luck today.
we got a little bit of a spoiler on that one for the map draft, but we'll talk about that in a little bit. Now, let's actually reflect on that DRX Fnatic game, because in a similar, well, not necessarily in a similar fashion to what we saw with Gen G and Heretics, this time around DRX were absolutely in control. Once they won that Abyss game, Lotus just seemed to be their bread and butter, and Paper Thin, you know, like DRX looked great in that. Fnatic, definitely, you were starting to see the cracks in the armor a little bit there.
And Fnatic said it was one of the worst games they've ever had. You know, so take from that what you will. I think you can say that DRX just came in with a really, really good game plan on Lotus. You know, kind of changing up their comp a little bit with some players swapping roles. You know, Foxy9 came out hot on the chamber. Yeah, he didn't have a ton of impact as the map went on, but DRX just read the map really, really well, shut Fnatic down in one of their best maps, at least historically.
Yeah.
And now you kind of got to wonder, well, Lotus no longer maybe that tried and true kind of map that they can go to when things are going sideways for them. What's going to be the backup plan? Is it going to be Haven, like Boaster just said in the interview? I think we got a little bit of a spoiler there.
Yeah.
But is that going to be good enough?
I really don't know, and I think that one of the things that we need to see is a hot start from the side of Fnatic. That Abyss, it was very contentious, but then things just really fell apart from them after dropping that map to the likes of DRX, because we talked about it on the broadcast. Every single time that those two teams had played against each other previously, it had always gone to 3. It was never easy, but this time, Fnatic very quickly ran out of steam, and they couldn't really do much. It was another 13-6 scoreline there on that second map.
But one player that Boaster did big up in that interview was Alfier, who, regardless, was putting up great numbers against DRX. And, you know, this team, in the past, right, Alfier was that impact duelist. He was this young player that was shocking everyone, you know, really elevated Fnatic to another level. But it seems like here now, Fnatic are kind of living or dying based on how well this guy is performing. So it makes you wonder, right? Like, if Alfier shows up today, it could be trouble for KRU.
Absolutely, and it's kind of like, well, but the concern is it could be kind of like what we just saw with Gen G, right?
Yeah.
Where one player is stepping up and nobody else is there with him. I mean, he had almost 20 kills more than anyone else on his team in that DRX match, Alfier. I mean, he was absolutely frying, but nobody else was backing him up. The kind of contact play behind him just wasn't there.
Yeah, and I think that, you know, for Alpha in that series in particular did have a little bit of a vendetta. It was talked about, you know, he got sent home by DRX while he was on home soil. So I think that there was certainly that drive behind him, but he is just so damn consistent. And Fnatic really need him to have a strong performance coming into this. But again, you know, like you said, comparing to Gen G, you need to see that support system around him.
Yeah, indeed. You want to see it build around him, and they have in, you know, matches prior, events prior, so no shocker if it happens again here today. And that is going to be a new player that this KRU lineup is going to have to deal with. So let's jump over to the other side, send it back over to Yinsu, standing by with Shy.
I've got Shy from KRU here with me, and Dan to do some translations as well. Now, when it comes to the map pool between you and Fnatic, it is very similar. You guys like Haven, you like Lotus as well. So what do you think, in your opinion, would be the difference between the two teams? What is it that KRU is better than Fnatic on?
Siento que lo que vamos a destacar más va a ser la hora de la presión. Siento que nuestro equipo se maneja mejor. Hemos estado en muchas situaciones de presión al borde de quedar eliminado, y siento que eso nos va a dar como ese plus. Y también el hecho de que ambos equipos juguemos nuestros mejores mapas va a ser un espectáculo para la gente. Así que nada, quedar el mejor.
I think where we're going to be shining the most is the pressure situations. We've been in a lot of situations where we're about to get eliminated and we need to come through. So also the fact that we have a similar map pool is going to be like just a show, an amazing show for everybody.
Oh, see who's better today. Thank you very much, Dan, and Shy, good luck.
Ooh, boy. All right. Well, look, to quote the poet of our time, Nelly, it's getting hot in here. I crack myself up. And here's the thing. I'm not talking about the weather, because I'm dying. Okay, real talk.
Yeah, you are dying up here.
I'm sweating my butt off all over the place. But real talk, though, you know, cringe aside, Heat was genuinely that guy this week. He has been on fire for this team. And again, his story this year has been so incredible. Coming in as a substitute for the team, you know, having been in a Brazilian team last year, not really finding much success in that regard, changing up the role, not playing the duelist anymore, being more of an impact player. I mean, guys, this dude has been an X factor for this team, but can he do it here today against Fnatic?
I mean, I think he absolutely could. I mean, this is another one of those names that is very storied and has been around the block, has been in international competition, global competition in the past. And I mean, if he can get heated up, not to make the dad joke here with the dads, then it is going to be a scary thing, because this is somebody who can go toe-to-toe with the likes of Alfie on the opposite side.
Neither one of us are fathers, by the way. Just want to stress that, unless I don't know anything about it. All right. I found something out and my wife didn't tell me. But okay, so now here's the thing. For more on that win over BLG, here's Kesnet with our Omen player moment. You're okay, Seth?
Yeah, I'm doing all right.
Yeah.
Buenas, soy Kenny Deus, duelista de CRU. Obviamente se siente demasiado bien y demostrarle al mundo que tenemos nivel. Me siento extremadamente confiante y creo que nunca me había sentido tan confiante de mis compañeros que tengo al lado, que cualquiera se puede sacar una ronda y puede dar vuelta a todo y nos da ese como momentum de esa partida, y creo que nunca había sentido algo así, como que todos mis compañeros pueden carrear o hacer una ronda demasiado buena. Teníamos que jugar bien, no extremadamente bien para ganarle, y es bueno igual porque te da, este partido creo que nos va a dar un poco más de momentum y seguir disfrutando igual un poco más de Corea. Está bonito.
Isolated the players further back. Heat called upon, does well with one. Kesnet and Heat in unison, somehow outdoing them here. I thought Billy got everything right, and K-Knight, sadly the one who took all that damage early on, the one who suffered from that outlaw, can't handle them all.
Hoy día tuvimos un mental demasiado bueno, así que creo que deberíamos llegar con esa misma mentalidad, y si es que se pierde un mapa, no debería bajar. Para probar nuestro nivel tenemos que jugar contra los mejores equipos del mundo. Obviamente uno se siente bien porque está demostrando que nosotros también tenemos el nivel y podemos lograrlo. Entonces obviamente se te viene todo encima, y es como un montón de emociones buenas que nos da.
Now this crew lineup, they are genuinely the ultimate underdogs. They've been the underdogs since inception, it feels like. But I feel like coming into this one, Paper Thin, you know, they have to have a lot of confidence, because the pressure is on Fnatic here, right? If anything, this is, you know, one of the best teams coming out of EMEA, a team that could very reasonably win this event. So you got to wonder, if you're crew here, you're like, hey, I'm playing with house money. Let's see what we could do here.
I mean, in some ways, I think that's true. But I think for crew, there's a lot to prove, right? Like, they had a really rough go of it in the middle of the year, right? They lost, what was it, 6-7 matches in a row? Or,
yeah, I think 6 in a row, or 5 in a row.
And I think that ties to what we just heard in the interview, right? Like, you really want to bounce back. Like, have that mentality that no matter how bad it's going, we have that ability to come back and play good. And they have shown that this year. And it's just, this could be a real test of that. Fnatic's a very good team. And even though there's been a lot of 2-0s in this tournament, which is kind of crazy, but look, today may be a little bit different. I expect this to be 2-1. I think Crew's really going to push Fnatic today. I really like what I'm seeing out of this team in terms of their fundamentals, the coordination. They just need players to step up a little bit.
Yeah, and of course, when we talk about both squads, you got to highlight the impact players on each side of the field. We just heard from Kesnet just a second ago, but also let's not forget about Durka, because he always in the conversation, you know, such a talented player, has always brought his A game, but these two have squared off against one another before, Achilleo, so this is going to be a little bit of a rematch here as well.
Yeah, I mean, Kesnet, the last time out, that 2-1 victory for the side of Crew, he was able to outdo Durka. It wasn't by a significant margin, 4 kills separating them, I believe, at the end of that set, but it was Kesnet coming out on top, having played Raze and Reyna in that series. Do I think that's going to happen here today? No, probably not, but it could still come through. Every now and then you get that stray Reyna thrown into the mix. But Kesnet, both of these players are players that when they are on, they are absolutely on. They look like world beaters. They look like some of the best duelists in the world. And I would just love to see that peak be hit here in this matchup. It's elimination. Leave nothing on the table. Let's not have another 2-0 series to determine a team's fate. Let's just watch this clash go all the way to 3 and have these two leading the charge.
Yeah, I'd really prefer that, to be completely honest. I mean, it's been a while.
It would help me forget.
Yeah, let's wipe clean my memory from what just happened a few
doing that later tonight
ago.
As well, so.
A little Men in Black, you know, you got the device.
Please, if you have one in your pocket, I'll
look for it. I think I left it in the back. Sorry about that. We'll get it later.
No, but seriously, I mean, I really think these are really good teams. I think Kesnet can take over matches, so can Durka. Heat can take over matches. Alfier can. There's a lot of players on both sides, but it needs to be a team effort for both of these teams. When they've lost, sometimes it's been relying on one player to kind of just try to carry them over the line, but nobody else can really step up with them.
Yeah, well, you saw the fan poll there. The fans are saying Fnatic could walk away with this win, but KRU have proven time and time again to be the ultimate underdogs. It's Fnatic and KRU Visa. They're ready to fight on the stage for their lives. Let's send it over and make this bad boy happen. Back in 2021, we saw a barn burner between these two teams. KRU managed to come out on top that time, and Fnatic since then have only grown stronger. So the question is, can KRU repeat history, or will Fnatic stop them here and now? We take a look at the series layout. You got Sunset, Haven, and the Lotus if we go the distance. How are we feeling about this one, Achilleos?
I think that this one's actually quite intriguing for the side of KRU. I think that this is actually a pretty decent shout for them to be able to potentially get this victory here. I mean, we heard it from Boaster, kind of spoiling things ahead of time with that Haven coming through, wanting to go back to that map pick and get a little bit of revenge, rewrite that history. But will that revenge mindset
I mean, sometimes you could be chasing ghosts here, you know what I mean? And that's where things get a little concerning, because you really want to try and, you know, get back at them. But honestly, you let Kesnet go wild on Haven, I don't know what would happen there, Paper Thin. That could be problematic for them.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think at the other side of the coin, Fnatic's comp with that Yoru on Haven is really tough to deal with. They're really smart, really cagey.
That's true.
They maneuver around the map so well. The calling's phenomenal from Boaster. I mean, I know KRU likes this map veto. I think that in general, a lot of fans are going to look at that and lean tightly KRU, but I don't know, man. I have this feeling about Fnatic right now where they've been so good on Lotus. They were 6-0 on it coming into this stage. Yeah. 5-0 on Haven coming into this stage. So for some reason, I feel like that might just be it.
It could be. But again, I look back, I think about what we just saw in the last series.
I know. Now,
Lotus was another good one, right?
My brain is telling me one thing, and my heart is telling me something completely different.
It's just something about these boys, these KRU guys. And the thing is out in that Billy matchup, what I was really paying attention for was, does KRU beat them down?
They did.
Sure. And they did. That's what you needed to see. That tells me that this is a team that is punching at the weight class that they need to be at, and I think there could be a strong possibility here that Fnatic might not be ready for the smoke. Now we take a look here at the agents and what we get. Nothing all that crazy, but you're gonna let Kesnet fly around and zip across that map on Neon. Could be dangerous for the boys over from EMEA.
Yeah, and trying to contain that Neon is going to be the biggest thing here for Fnatic to really shut down this comp. I mean, obviously, you know, map win percentage, not the greatest here for them, but there's still an immense amount of firepower. So if Heat is gonna be on point as well, that is such a dynamic duo that allows KRU to go ahead and get these site entries opened up for themselves.
And it's something that DRX really struggled with against KRU on Haven, was the way Kesnet was just kicking doors in, sliding past angles. They weren't able to keep track of him at all. I think he was 5-0 on first kills to first deaths. He really was problematic on that agent.
I think the biggest thing here for KRU coming into this one, they have something major to prove. They've always been that underdog. They want to prove that that is not the case anymore. They want to be considered one of the best teams in the world, and if they can take down Fnatic, they'll be one step closer to that.
We got a high-stakes matchup here, and we got just the casters for the gig. It's Pansy and Steel for the call.
Thank you, GB in the desk. And genuinely, you know, the phrase chasing ghosts really stood out to me there that GB was discussing. And the fact Fnatic are haunted by the history of this matchup, a messed up veto previously in 2021, still so present in their minds. But Josh, now we've got a totally different veto, very different maps coming through here. I mean, Haven's still lingering, but let's start on the first. Where's your mind going to? We've seen so much of this in EMEA through playoffs, but only playoffs.
We might have a fast opening here, so I might have to hold that thought for a second as KRU does their, you know, that contact walk in on pistols. They love it. I think the last match they might have gone A side with this. Now they're towards B, just here on the defense. Fnatic comfortable with these retakes.
Yeah, I'm looking at the positioning as well from Fnatic too. Early post towards middle, a very passive hold from Hero, who's been very, very solid for them. Of course, that newer addition. And he's already being tested, a little bit of a pressure, but they were willing to give up the site. That was an intended approach, but
that's huge.
It's a problem! Still a problem! A stark reminder of this man's danger. Oh, and they're now going to have to try and walk their way back in. This is so good from KRU. A little bit of damage, yes, but we need more. Not going to get it. Hero now left in a 1v3. Clutch as he can be, they already have a nice post-plant setup. And Kesnit just toying with him, but that's what you get. But still 2 more to find, Josh. That's almost too much, surely.
I've seen this before from Hero.
I don't think we're going to be seeing it again this time. Trying as he can.
Not with that dart in his body.
So little to be done. A damn good try. Didn't get it to halfway. KRU get away with round 1. Very nicely done.
Fnatic only started to introduce their Sunset into Stage 2 playoffs. Not the normal stage, the playoffs. Correct. We've seen them only run it a few times. They've run the same composition here. So we kind of know what to expect a little bit, but they shied away from this basically since
Vamos!
And now they brought it in. It's going to be taken here at Champs. What I look for Fnatic here, though, is defense side, Hero, the Cypher, and then also Chronicle back on that Sova role where he plays his best.
Keep your eyes on him going forward on the other side. Of course, Kesnit even said earlier in those interviews that he is one of the players that caused them so many problems, and maybe on Haven we'll expand on it further in regard to what they intend to do, but a little trap set up here. Clearly been working, cooking some bits up, but Shy's not going to fall for this. He has no need to over-explore on his own. He doesn't want to give up any of these weapons. So playing very, very considered here, KRU. Bulldogs coming out, Stinger, and of course Shy does only have that Ghost, so willing to lose 1. The rest, you wouldn't want to see anything drop beyond that, really. Maybe the Stinger. But Shy will be the one to receive the vast majority, and he sees pretty much everything.
The important thing to look at is, I guess, the silver lining of Alpha dying, getting 1 tap last round. He had full abilities, so now he keeps them, and this could be just, if they can do a lot of damage with these classics, that's huge right now. KRU understanding that the flank's coming in.
Yeah, the flash going to force one of the players off the angle. Stun comes in, he going to calm the approach. Yeah, this is lovely from KRU, very clean as Chronicle, the last one alive. And this is great so far from them, kind of setting the standard. And when we talk about KRU, it's always such a curious team. You see highs and lows from them, such a danger to come across in these specific matchups on those knockout stages, getting to the kind of quick of things. They are deadly and easily underestimated, and they really shouldn't be. So far, tick in the box. They lost out on Shy, but that was a loss they were willing to come in with.
Going into that first gun round here, this is going to be a big test. KRU so far has been going pretty slow, contacting their way in. And Fnatic hasn't guessed the right site. They did an A stack on first round, B stack on second round, and KRU went the opposite direction. If Fnatic's able to find out and get ahead of where KRU's going next, we could see a completely different result here. And I think they're going to be even comfortable playing those retakes anyways. We saw that constantly, how they employed those flanks consistently and knowing exactly how they want to play depending on what abilities and what ultimates they had in play here. KRU starting with maybe a little bit of a fake towards B pressure.
Both sides with a very early start, and Kesnit is happy to pressure. There's a little risk on the line, but he gets away and they remove that initial trap.
Orb required, trip broken, information. They know Hero's towards B now, and Hero's gonna have to think about how he wants to use his trips in the future. You can already see one of the kill trips is on B site for that extension. They did this extension on pistol round, but the grouping towards B, know that Hero likes to play here a lot by himself. What the entrance trip is gone as well, dealt with. But Hero is usually so good to get a couple of kills and back away with his life.
Kesnit, the first man to step forward here, committed.
Oh, almost,
Easy.
almost.
Yeah, you can see them trying for it, but Hero not going to get the reward he wanted, and once again, KRU contain the site. Fnatic playing quite deep off-site, though. They've really only had Hero taking a couple of steps and easy to slip back towards CT. Still going to maintain some control towards market, but KRU already in that deep post-plant position, sitting happily towards B main. We've got to see what the pressure looks like here. What do they have to disrupt this? What do they have to push it out of position? Hero going to find Kesnit, but the trade's there, and the spam through the smoke begins. Just a messy battle now to start with, and Hero is claiming bodies. Halfway not achieved, though. Ult going to come through. Information is free-flowing, and Shy is doing some serious damage. This is the bonus, and it looks like it's going to be converted. Boaster can't do a thing about this. This post-plant is so devastating. Great shots, but it matters not. Crew going to get that third, and the bonus goes in the bag. They will be chuffed to bits with this.
It's a good start from Crew. Now, can they build on this momentum? That would be big. They cannot let Fnatic start getting into the game mentally. They can't let them get into the game with their ultimates. The first one going to come online is probably from Boaster. That's going to help with some of these retakes, deny the ability for Crew to be able to play the spam battle from B main on another such round. Getting close to some ultimates of their own for the side of Crew, but the first ones to come online are Cypher, Omen. They don't really help that much.
So we're looking at that one remaining rifle in Boaster's hands, Sheriffs to supplement, but Crew looking to extend their lead now.
Big damage? Nope.
But an early note of where that rifle resides. Going to find that top middle. They now know where that is going to be positioned. And Crew taking their time, playing out this default, maybe looking for any of these stacks, any aggressive plays coming through from Fnatic. And Crew with the right read so far. Could be some danger over towards Tiles though. Once again, Shy. So much weight on his shoulders here, and he's found Boaster. The rifle going to be filtered back through towards Alpha, but still information's there. They've got the whole game plan read and almost dealt with, but Hero does deliver a shot, can't do much more. Crew are in control here. Now, Durka and Chronicle, the last two to collect, and they just shift back towards B. Lovely from Kesnit. This is nice from Crew. And again, this is when we start asking those questions, maybe a little further into this. This wasn't a map, as you highlighted, that Fnatic lent on throughout the regular play in EMEA. This came out purely in playoffs when Abyss started to hit the rotation. We were questioning, is this just them sandbagging to make it look like they have a full map pool? But they've willingly walked into this, Josh, and so far, I mean, Crew's looked substantially better.
Only one gun round has been played so far. Fnatic don't have to start stressing yet. Crew looking to be really confident with how they're moving around the map, taking the sites, going for those duels, winning a lot of them. Seems like Fnatic might be a little bit asleep at the moment. Crew changing their opening, taking middle first here. Smoke top mid, dart, clear it all out. Shy inching up in B main, finding out that they got the Cypher versus Cypher battle here. Just deny this camera, baits out the stun as well. That's a good read on the setup. Crew might shift over towards A off the back of that, knowing that it might be a little bit less defended, but also...
Ooh, a miss from Durka. You can't be having that. Melza is going to be so happy. Done great deals. Can just back away now. They've got a man advantage above a minute. These are all ticks in the box. Still got full utility as well. Smoke's there, Paranoia's there. MTA just got his util back off cooldown TP.
Just for info, finding out what the setup is here. If Crew commits to B, they cannot forget about this Astro Wall. They need to understand how it's going to be played, but without the paint shells there from Durka.
Oh, a little bit of a stall on the way in, though. And now I'm going to know that Alpha is at least present here. Chronicle now considering middle in case there's another layer to this, but it is through
30 seconds left.
Boaster just cleared out all of A as well.
Big.
He sees this trip. He's trying to get past it.
I don't know if he's going to be able to without it being noted, but for now, it's already looking like the site's falling. Kesnit going to crack it open. Alpha's gone down, and he's looking to follow it up. The pressure is outrageous, but Chronicle standing tall. 13 seconds. Oh, that's 4 already. The man wants the ace. Melza got things started well, but it might end with a pretty big flourish here. But the time just has to live. Boaster just has to live. Chronicle, give him the crown in this one. This is what we're talking about, Josh. This man's capability activates in a map and a role like this.
When we talk about Fnatic, it's always Durka this, Alpha that, but the unsung heroes of the team, Hero and Chronicle, especially when they're on Cypher and Sova respectively, it's just, they're so good at locking down these positions. The way that they play the game means that Chronicle gets to play in the mid-rounds a lot more. He likes to play in the clutches. He gets to bait his teammates. But when he's able to just put his back against the wall and stutter step left, right, and then just tap them out, that's when I've seen so many clips of him in those situations, and we get another one for the real.
But that's an individual round of impact from a player, not the team. And a very aggressive start on attack to be had. Melza's in trouble. Kesnit does at least trying to levy it back with one, so keeps it at least at a 4v4. And Kesnit's doing some serious lifting here. He's been taking space. He's been doing brilliantly on the entries. But now that's the first time we've seen an aggressive start from Fnatic that's rewarded at least.
Cosmic Divide still available. I wonder if Fnatic's going to pivot to defend that A site, play that retake on B. Middle completely cleared. Boaster going very aggressive here. The trip, I think, broken from either the shock or the ultimate for the Hunter's Fury. That cage is info. The sprint is info.
They cleared sight. Alpha just trying to control towards CT because, again, Kesnet is just doing wonders, taking all of this space, securing it perfectly. Plant is in. He's got his ult. He has his ult as well. Some big ultimates on the board now. MTA's in a bit of danger here.
Eyes on the Chronicle flank as well. As soon as Boaster shows himself at A link here, I think that's go time for Chronicle.
Oh, but Shy's been on the money. And an absolute heater. Looked like he was a little asleep at the wheel, and now he's seen a whole lot. He's in trouble. Can get pinched here. Pressure starting. Chronicle on the way. Not going to have the same sort of reign as the last round. Falls away from this crew, though. Starting to feel the pressure on the site. The flood coming in from Fnatic, but Hero's fallen. Crew still standing, still holding. MTA denying any steps towards that spike. And it's just Alpha, and it feels like a formality. There's nothing more he can really achieve here. The double swing. Crew in full control.
I would not be in the slightest bit shocked to see a timeout coming in the favor of Fnatic right now, because what's been happening is Crew's able to get into the sites, get these post plants, and they've been converting it really well. The only time they got really locked out was when Chronicle sat at the back of the site, one by one, eliminated all of the players. Yeah. So right now, Fnatic, if your game plan right now is go for the retakes, they're not working for you. What else do you have in store? They tried a little bit of aggression there. Durka went down early after they got the pick with that Hunter's Fury. So the 1-for-1 trade, maybe not good enough. Are they going to have to find something else to stop Crew from getting into the site to begin with?
Furthermore, again, I don't like highlighting underperformances, but you've got to say Alpha and Durka being absent thus far. 0 to 6 for Alpha, Durka 1 to 6. They're not having the impact. And again, we don't necessarily look to them to have the highest impact. That's why we're looking at Hero and Chronicle, as we were discussing. But they are currently shying away from the light. They are really not finding their kills. They're not getting their 1v1s. I mean, we've seen Durka fall plenty of times on those extremities, not winning out on the other side. It's a pretty clear-cut performance between Shy and Kesnet. They're doing monstrous things. The amount of space Kesnet is getting them, their entry work is exceptional.
Yes.
It's all looking good for them. I don't know what Fnatic's options are.
Fnatic are laying out a red carpet and inviting Crew. Hey, you get to come here. We got the cameras and everything. Just come walk in. You know, make yourselves look pretty. Right now, Durka's been not hitting any duels, and yeah, Alpha's sitting at 0 and 6, but he's on breach. He can't really activate until he stuns, flashes, and has his teammates get the first kill. He comes in and starts trading it out. If that first opening's not even there, how is he supposed to get involved in the game here? And that's not really on him. That's about the positioning that Fnatic has and how they're always on the back foot.
I must wait a moment.
Camera dealt with early. Durka trying to slip into the space that they've carved away towards B main, but Crew's been very diligent in their clears. They've not been leaving many stones unturned.
Durka actually had the Vandal purchased. He sold it in favor of the Bulldog here. Probably looking to get a kill before popping that showstopper, and a lot of effort into stopping Crew from getting into B main here. The aggression, though, they're going to get caught.
Yeah, Shy's seen it. There goes the ult, but how much of reward does he get? Not much at all. It's Hero Sheriff the only one to really sing for them so far. And now you're looking at that Bulldog, and it's just petering away. There's nothing to this. There's no punch to it. Crew are fully aware, fully prepared for what's being thrown at them. And those small silver linings, a pick here or there, are not enough for Fnatic. This is a great show of strength from Crew. This is why we were surprised by this veto a touch. Maybe seeing some cracks in the possibility, the worry. How well fleshed out is this for Fnatic? Was that just a sandbag pick throughout the playoffs? And at 1 to 6 probably here, it might just be one of those that they're going to hopefully sooner forget. But it's not over yet, as Durka's starting to warm up now. 2 kills and a 2v2. Hero with the Sheriff, and it's found the pick. Hold on! And now the ult on top, so they're going to know where MTA is, but it's a 1v1. He's popped it. Durka, you're going to do the dance, you're going to dive in. He gets tagged! And now the spam, he's buying so much time here. He's got his dart up, that goes out. Durka's having his work cut out for him. He's trying to sit this to at least half. Again, the spam's perfect. MTA, ice cold in the clutch. Looking unmoved by any of those dangers and threats. Fnatic really being held here on this one singular round.
Fnatic unable to endure in action there at B main, getting antsy, moving up, and getting caught out in the open. I think their idea of getting into B main, getting into the extremity, and getting in front of where Crew's going is the right idea. but they thought maybe CRU's going somewhere else. Let's start moving up. Let's start taking that space. They didn't need it. Had they kept that setup, I think maybe CRU falls into that trap. But instead, 6-1, they built the lead. The Fnatic back on another gun round here. We look at this veto. We're thinking, is this the perfect concoction for an upset?
Gonna be Chronicle, stunner, oh, going out of third! Out of everyone to turn up, it is him. Still showing dominance, but they need more than this. It's just him giving them these rounds right now, that's it. We talk about individual impact, he's got them 3 this time. Surely they can get the rest, and they do. Durka just signs it and seals it, a flawless round, but we talk about repeatable success. How many times are we gonna ask Chronicle to be the one to bail them out?
Sometimes it's not about having him bail them out over and over again. Sometimes it's a matter of just get it once or twice, and it instills inspiration, confidence, all this for the rest of the team. The morale builds back up, and now everyone else is like, if he can do it, nice, that's a big round. Oh, we have a chance. Hang on, my turn to step up. And now maybe we're seeing other people chiming in. Durka up to 5 kills after he was down at, like, what, 0 kills a couple of rounds ago?
Yeah, there's hope, but it is slim. Well, look at CRU here, still leading. 6 rounds to their name. An early test again on the extremity, but this time a higher priority from CRU to take that space in middle, take some of that map control. Shy already testing the waters.
Normally he's been towards B main, denying that camera from Hero, denying that control, but now perfectly inserted to listen for everything.
I'm out of here. And here comes the push though. Kesnet, we've been complimenting him time and time again. Couldn't quite shut down on Durka there. Great damage in the paranoia is perfect. The trade's still there for Durka. Gets another though! Hold on, are they starting to warm up a little bit here? We're looking at that lurk coming into effect though. Shy gonna hear all of these rotations. They might start reading this. They seem a little cognizant of the chance that someone's there. Hero, yeah, definitely caught a glimpse, and that's pressure in the backlines. Chronicle does take away heat. They're losing out numbers, and Hero waited for his man. Finds Shy, and now Melzer in a 1v3. He's got 40 seconds. That's plenty of time to play with.
Lots of time to play with. Hero hears it into the trip.
Oh, that's a problem. Hero.
30 seconds left.
Gotta be careful. You don't want to give Melzer those chances. This guy, sharp as attack. Smoke just about back up now. Gonna opt to commit it towards, just behind him over towards Market, maybe focus towards CT.
Boaster closing the gap. Hero, Chronicle waiting for this moment. The camera.
It's so possible though, it's Melzer.
Yep.
Does he get a fair fight? Oh, he absolutely does! Cuts them down a size! But he's just, oh my God, he's missed each other. Like ships in the night passing beside Boaster. Have you read it right though? He has, but it doesn't matter! Melzer, so perfect, a 1v3, a Red Bull clutch. And CRU are crushing Fnatic under their heel.
That was an integral round for a Fnatic to be able to close out. They needed Boaster to go and find out where Melzer was. He was alone. He is the one that can get the information. These guys can double peek, get that trade. But right here, the disjointed double peek. Melzer isolating kill after kill. And now that lead gets built upon and built upon. CRU definitely feeling it. Keeping that momentum under their side.
Yeah, but that's a tilter. That sort of round can be an absolute heartbreaker. Yeah, he's going for this one right off the rip. Straight through tiles, but does he find a target? Oh, that's right place. Couldn't quite get it in time. Kesnet gets a little bit of flak damage, but he gets to keep his life and instantly clearing that question mark through middle. Another smoke towards top middle, and Kesnet trying to clear through.
The drone reclear in middle right now. Hunter's Fury also, if he gets a drone tag.
Oh, this is dangerous. Got to be careful. Kesnet trying to do any sort of dodge he can, and I think he's done just enough. Looking like Foon out here, 3 HP.
Dodge 2 ultimates, 147.
That's nuts! And they're going towards A, and it's just Boaster here. He's had that divide what feels like a lifetime. No opportunity to really use it maybe, but still. Has to fall off this angle. Not finding the impact he wanted at the beginning, and it's all 5 for CRU.
45 seconds left in the round. CRU almost committed here. They do have Melzer's ultimate to pivot back. Hero not moving from B. The first kill for Boaster.
The shot in the dark, but here comes that next layer of pressure with that owl drone, just starting to get them closer towards the site. Dart goes in, shock dart on the way back. A little bit of a standoff here. 20 seconds, we're running low, but another shot in the dark and it works out. giving us the remix real quick. Divide gonna go through, but
Hero.
It's on Hero.
It's all on Hero to be a hero.
This guy has had these rounds though. He has stood tall in the face of adversity, and can he do it again? That's one. A second is needed. Oh, that's not good enough. The plant's now in. A 3v3, the smoke towards CT, but Boaster finds a body. Takes down MTA, leaving Melzer and Shy to dig in deep. And Melzer trying to be a little audacious, play through the smoke. But Shy now in a 1v3, and it ain't looking all that likely. Nah, not gonna happen now. A very small window of chance here for Fnatic, making it up to a third.
Alpha looking like he's starting to warm up ever so slightly.
Yep.
That was a nice couple of one-taps that he got there. And remember, if we're going into Haven and he's on ISO duty.
I was going to bring this up because if you're looking at this performance, that's his second kill of the whole series.
Yes.
And even in the interview, they wanted to give Alpha that fight up against Kesnet back
Yep.
in there, man. One enemy remaining. Absolute nightmare of a map one. You're not backing yourself, you're not confident, you're not feeling you're going to win that 50-50. So hopefully he can mentally reset. But yeah, seeing him warm up here might put him in better stead, but still, that's it does worry you.
Only 4 rounds separate them, and keeping in mind KRU got the pistol and they converted that bonus round. That is the difference here. Fnatic still has time to catch up. Rolling Thunder in play, and an eco round from KRU. Guardian, Stinger, a couple of pistols and another Stinger, and looking like they want to take through middle here. Maybe with that Neon splitting on A, getting in that backline area.
Oh, it could work really well.
Paranoia down the lane potentially as well. Here comes the smoke, but they're going to go through it. Here comes the Paranoia in the back as well.
Yeah,
perfectly timed.
Boaster, the timing on this swing is sublime from Fnatic. Dealing with those threats, I kind of liked it from KRU. I could see the space they were trying to take for themselves, but as it stands, Melzer and Heat kind of surrounded. Yeah, nowhere to go from this one. Durka looking to just try and clean this up. Melzer, yeah, comfortable in the end. 4 now. Fnatic starting to find their feet here, starting to get back in the game a bit.
I like the idea from KRU. Wasn't bad. They had an eco round. They wanted to get a little bit tricky with it. You know, use a little bit of subterfuge, go through their own Omen smoke. Paranoia in the backline. Alpha, great timing with that breach ultimate to deny it. Boaster coming through market at the same time with it, and really shut that down from KRU. KRU maybe trying to do something a little bit different now. They've been going slow all game. They've been using middle a lot at the opening and then pivoting to the extremity. Here, 5 gathered towards B main. Hero, you gotta be really careful. Only Alpha to back you up if you get caught and run down by this Neon after the stun.
I don't think he knows the trouble he is in. Kesnet so close by, and here comes the danger, here comes the stun, and there's the body drop. Kesnet, again, set into motion, set up for success. And he takes that with both hands. Plant's gonna be down. I don't think much is denying that here. And the early man advantage is just glorious for KRU. You can see the confidence, and you can see why. Still going, that's a third. Maybe hunting for some more. Yeah, he fancies it, why not? Go at him, absolutely, let them know this is your map. Oh, he tried it.
No
Hold
more
on.
secrets.
Chronicle? Are we... Time?
Hunter's Fury, no, that's
Yeah,
and then
there we
stuns
go.
up as well. As soon as he taps it, stun, Hunter's Fury, dead.
So let's stun. And there's a Hunter's Fury. Oh, yeah, welcome to Sunset. It ain't so nice out here. KRU gonna just sign, seal, and deliver so far. This has been an exceptional display from them. 8 rounds to their name. Fnatic clawing back 4. I mean, this has been shaky, Josh, from start to end. We have to wait and see how this looks on the other side of the break. Oh, come on.
Trade in any phone in any condition guaranteed and get $800 off the new Galaxy Z Fold 6. Only on Verizon.
Red Bull gives you wings.
There is that infamous saying of all the best laid plans often go astray. And walking in eyes wide open to Sunset, Josh, is 4 rounds enough in your mind? Has Fnatic maybe sold themselves down the river here by walking into this veto?
It's definitely looking like Fnatic are dormant at the moment. They need to wake up. It is only 4 rounds difference. That is a pistol round. This is going to be super important, vital for Fnatic to be able to close it out. Crew looking really good. Kesnet fearless. And what they like to do is they're going to probably move around a lot, stay ahead of where Fnatic's going. But Fnatic is a really good team at slowing down the game on their attack side, finding out where they want to go, disabling and disarming these traps. But it's time to see Durga and Alpha start to show up now. It can't be all on Hero.
Hold on.
And Kron. Poster slipped by. Kesnet doesn't want it though.
No, they're backing away. Oh, that didn't go as we planned.
Looks like this is a retake camera B. It's at the top of the entrance, so they could look down and find out whoever's in. Breach stun is going to come off cooldown in about 18 seconds from now for Alpha. Getting a little bit close in this setup from the defense.
You didn't have to go dead in the water,
Gravity
but how?
wall. I thought for sure he was going to pull them in. Fnatic, minute left on the round here.
Boaster barking out the commands there, you can see it.
Go, go, go.
As Kesnet once again checking, clearing tiles pretty well. Cameras there just to be taken back, but they're still looking to readdress this A side of the map. Melza feeling compelled to finally fall away. Durga taking a couple of very tentative steps forward, but they've got to make a go of this. 40 seconds now, he slipped ahead. That's not bad, but Melza still stands his ground. And they get overwhelmed. Fnatic win out towards elbow, but Kesnet has slipped the net. Do they expect him here? Well, the Arrow Drone should reveal it regardless. So I don't think he's going to be able to get away with too much. Hold on, maybe there's still an opportunity and a real mess of things on the site here. And we're down to a 2v2. They've got 20 seconds and they're running low on options. Kesnet being the thorn in the side. They're smelling like roses as they come out on top of this. 14 seconds, stunned up and slowed down. Fnatic are just faltering here. Again, oh, Kesnet, so perfectly done. A Chronicle in a 1v2 with 5 seconds, got to fight both. Hold on.
He has to go for the kill. Kron has to push him.
You got to push. No time, no shot. It's just at the very end then.
Oh, so close. I wonder if
too late.
Chronicle had to push immediately.
Yeah.
He had to have thought, oh yeah, I got it with just enough time to be able to get that spike planted, but he had to push, and if he had pushed instantly instead of hesitating for that half a second.
That's the difference.
There's a difference. This game's all about those milliseconds. Oh, he's got to be kicking himself. Yeah. Definitely not happy about that one. Fnatic need to kind of figure out here what they want to do with the rest of this map. Are they going to expend all their energy trying to get back into this game? Or are they going to try to go for the long play, the marathon? That Haven will be the next map here. And Crew already showed how strong they are against DRX earlier. 13-2 win. It's not going to be easy for Fnatic. Not unless they wake up.
Right. All asleep at the wheel here, and Crew just running them down. Easy work for them. They wanted this one out of the way.
Just a flawless round. Cleaning it up, 4-10. And Fnatic need to convert around sometime this year. 2-11 for Alpha. He is not finding any sort of impact at the moment. He can't, it's not really necessarily on him, but they need to find a way to get him involved a little bit more if they want to have a chance at getting him. Like, look how just distraught.
Yeah,
he's
he doesn't look
sad. There's nothing he can do. He's at the behest of his teammates to be able to get him into the game, and that's not going to be looking good if you're going to the second map and you're feeling this bad.
Yeah, you're right. If he's left catatonic after this performance, it could all be over. It looks like Shy wanted to be feeling a little aggressive, and why not? You're in a bonus round. Try and get aggressive, try and be a nuisance. Melza going to kind of body check Alpha, who's going to be falling all the way back to spawn. His confidence clearly waning, but he does have that spike, so you don't want to see him go down there.
Kesnet's rotation, though, they're so good at this type of rotation. We're going to see this on Haven as well. On that Neon, he gets to sprint across the map and stay a step ahead. It's on Fnatic. Who's the mid-round caller right now? Who's going to make the decision about, hey, we got the kill on A, they might over-rotate to B. Are we going to go into this potentially? Can we sniff this out before we commit? Oh, that's info. That's on Kesnet as well. Hey, wait. Kesnet's over towards B. Do we want to go A now?
Even with 50 seconds, though, they're still going to power forward.
Mid. Just kidding.
Lingering. This is so dangerous. If Kesnet's here, Heat's here. And again, you look where Melzer is as well. This side of the map, right place, right time, Heat. Eviscerates Darker, can't get the follow-up, but now the cross is being watching. Kesnet slips the net and gets away with it. Doesn't get noted by the reveal there. Oh, this is huge. Oh, he's found Chronicle. Goes in for more, and he gets more Kesnet! It's Fnatic's downfall. Keeping Crew correct and moving forward. This is a perfect moment for Crew. 11 rounds. Doubling down, getting that bonus. Confidence is going to be through the roof now.
Kesnet is doing a tremendous job at the moment. Not even necessarily getting set up for half the plays that he's doing. They're just coming in with full confidence to keep swinging and swinging and swinging. But these are isolated fights. I'm surprised that Fnatic just decided to continue to go into B there. Didn't really properly support each other to get that spike planted. It was kind of like walking around. They must not have expected him.
This is cutthroat now. 4 rounds feels impossible for his Crew. Sky high after this.
Dart, flash, recall the star. Try to get into the faces of Melzer here on the timing.
They're not sticking around for it.
It's fine, they broke past that one way. That's more utility used from the side of Crew. Pivot from Fnatic back into middle. But Crew, flexible, pivoting as well.
Yeah, matching them almost step for step here. 2 players now going to keep note towards that top side. Make it 3. Kesnet, you can't avoid him. He's omnipresent. Everywhere you go, he's not too far. MTA, the one to probably get the first contact, and he falls. There's the swing. Perfect. Fnatic finally find a way in. Felt like a drought. There. Noting Shy at the back of the boom bot. They don't know quite about Melzer yet. They decide to go towards A. They certainly will. But now there's going to be a problem. Backline going to be pressured by Melzer, but Shy is in danger. He's got players coming through Market. He's still got the test towards that CT side. Oh, Shy gonna find Chronicle, bring this back to something a bit more bite-sized. Dirk has just missed the cross here.
It's fine.
Is it?
Not fine.
It's not fine. You're getting nervous. You're getting the old going. You're starting to see it all go wrong, all fall down, and Shy and Melzer, as said, their confidence is gonna be... It's on Spike. That's an interesting choice here. Have the stun just to make sure. Second tap, and they wait. Shy fighting his time, and then he strikes so perfectly. Just look at these guys, so confident. They finally fall. I think they're running out of time here. Alpha, Alpha, Alpha. Easy, Tiger. Time is fine. 5 rounds for Fnatic, but I mean,
I got a question.
Go on then.
When the hell did EMEA become good with stingers? What's going on here?
I don't know. I think this, I mean, what else have they got going right?
Oh, true. Actually, true.
No, they gotta have something.
Factual.
Give them something.
Lots of ultimates coming online for Fnatic here.
Don't let him Zen though, like Shy is hit.
1 enemy
Yeah.
remaining.
Good job, bro. Nice round. Nice.
It does feel like a bit of a death rattle, that sort of round, right? You're facing 11. Look, maybe I'm being the cynic here. Maybe those ults will hit. Suddenly it all starts making sense. They can get back to it. But you're looking at the fundamentals Crew are playing with. It's an outclass. This is a very good side. And Crew, they're easy to underestimate at times. But this, again, should be a very clear reminder why you don't.
Strategically, I think Crew has a little bit of an edge this game so far over Fnatic. But when it comes down to the players, Kesnet and Shy have been just instrumental in this performance at the moment. And without them being as good as they are, and with Fnatic sleeping on their side, I'm not sure if it's this one-sided. You go again with this. Hero. Denying that camera at B main. Durka.
Okay.
Finds the opening. Smokes her down. It's going to help with those post-plant situations. Rotation coming in from Crew. Kesnet.
Steady.
Gonna have to deal with him, but the showstopper for Durka, he's gonna pop this. They need these rounds. He needs to get something going.
I mean, that was a dangerous cross even towards CT. It's the Hunter's Fury they opt for first. And
okay.
I don't like it.
This
is
an opening for Crew here.
Yeah, he's gonna be the counter. Hero trying to save the day with Chronicle. You saw Crew then trying to work back into it, almost on that pre-take there. But Heat now gonna be left a little out in the cold. Divide goes up. Shy does claim a player prior, but it is only on Shy now in a 1v3. Plant's going to be in. I don't think Shy's got much to say about this.
Looking to do the save, repositions his trip, give him a little bit of buffer space. My read on the situation is that KRU needs to close this out as early as possible. One, it's their map pick. They want to win this. But two, the amount of time that they give Alpha to find his footing and get back into the game mentally, emotionally, physically, everything, spiritually.
No, you're right. The worse it gets, right?
The worse it gets.
There are moments in this where you do start thinking, okay, you want to see how well KRU close out in these regards, you know, with the upper hand, seen as the team genuinely on paper, at least in this map, are the favorites. I think that's a very clear way to say it. If you're looking at the history and the results coming through. Bigger picture, though, that's when it gets a little bit different, right? You start talking about Haven, Lotus, where do you see that landing? Yeah, that kind of evens out a bit more. Maybe Fnatic even take the upper hand. ABA's #1 qualifier, keep in mind, obviously, against America's 3rd. So if you're looking at it in that regard, this does eventually even out. So if you are a KRU fan, if you are KRU themselves, you want to see them close out cleanly, quickly. Don't let Fnatic take those steps to close back into this game, and let alone build confidence for map 2.
A little bit of mix buy from KRU, budgeting for that full buy next round, but still, Guardians, Phantom Vandal in play, a Sheriff as well. Definitely a good enough buy. Alpha has Rolling Thunder, Durka with the Showstopper, and Fnatic, another slow opening, making sure that they deal with what, yeah, we saw this yesterday actually, right?
Mm-hmm. And Boaster might just be the rabbit in the trap. He goes around that corner.
Trying to just spot the tippy top of their heads there. Pre-aimed Kesnet. The way he's been playing, he might hit it too.
Yeah. It's all a little quiet on the Western front.
Right there.
Slow walk up. They got that one way on that tall box. Durka got the opening kill here last round, walking into elbow. Drone to clear. Showstopper still in hand.
Again, you're putting
sights full clear.
You're questioning what's going on though. You felt no resistance thus far, right? There's not been a mid-walk.
Yeah.
Maybe you're just getting a little bit curious. Is it a stack? Are they going for something a little weird and wonderful? And they were, but it's Chronicle to connect through the smoke. Plant's going to come in.
And that smoke's down for the defense. They're going to make this retake a little bit harder. Crossfire's unable to be broken. Hero far away, securing the round. You guys got this. I got your backs.
This is where it gets scary, though. This is the pressure coming back in towards the site. You're looking at Kesnet to be the danger man, at least because of the Vandal, maybe Heat as well with that Phantom, but they've got to try and take those steps, and actually an isolated fight there. Alpha finally swings on it, but it's Chronicle coming in through from that kind of deeper position, swinging off the contact. Shy and Heat not getting the impact they want, and I think it's time to back away.
They are definitely backing away here. Durka on the hunt.
Oh.
Saw something similar from CNET.
True.
Must be an EMEA thing.
It's hard being an caster sometimes.
Surprised Durka actually went to chase them down. I guess they didn't realize that this was only a partial buy from KRU, not a full investment, trying to hunt down those weapons, because he already had his Showstopper. He's had it for a couple rounds. Surprised that he didn't invest it in either of those rounds just to secure it, to come back. But now, you know, only trailing by 4 rounds, and he still gets to keep this. So probably seeing one or both of these ultimates being used this round from Fnatic. KRU starting to get a little bit nervous. They had a really good start. They had a good lead. They had that momentum.
You're right, and I think what you're saying there is, and what we were alluding to earlier, you're starting to see Fnatic show signs of life.
Yes.
Right, there's a
smiles.
Yeah, and this is, again, it was just from that.
Oopsies.
Yeah, a little moment there for them. But this is 3 rounds in a row. The scoreline suddenly doesn't look as egregious. You're at 7-11. That's a very closable gap. You didn't even win the pistol. So that's something that's certainly going to be heavy in the minds of KRU. And I think it's the right time to hit that timeout button, slow things down, get a grip on this, because, again, they've got ultimates now at Fnatic. They may even have a snowball round in hand. Their money's looking okay. It's starting to build up. There's a lot of those win conditions starting to come in. And again, when you're looking at KRU, we discussed the idea of even letting them get confident for map 2, let alone the pressure that could come through from maybe dropping map 1. But it's 7-11. We shouldn't be that worried yet. But for KRU, they're worried enough to have hit that timeout.
As you're talking about snowballs, all I'm thinking about is maybe the sun's not setting on this map. Sun's out, melting that snow, because Kesnet, he's slowing down. He's been sitting on 17 kills for a few rounds now. Shy's caught up, Heat catching up. KRU maybe losing their steam a little bit here. Need to find some sort of way to revitalize themselves in this round, in this game. They want to be able to close this out.
Does feel like a death by 1,000 cuts here. That slow grind back in. Fnatic taking a couple of steps, but it could all go wrong. It could all be taken away in the blink of an eye. But for now, Crew taking space. The first time we're taking really deep B main control.
One thing I noticed from Fnatic a lot, especially on maps like Haven, we'll see it next map, is that when they lose space, they love to go back and re-clear it. And if Melzer sits close up, and Durka comes back with that showstopper, things can be really tricky for him. Full trust right now on Shy over on that A site.
Yeah,
got that camera, got that info. He's going to spot Durka here.
Yeah, early info too. No risk behind it either, not for now.
Taken out.
Instant rotation from Kesnit too. He's already coming over. They do have heat on this side of the map. Trying to re-clear middle with the Owl drone as well. So Crew trying to get the full picture here.
Fnatic
take flight.
Still just progressing slowly. Spots 1, spots 2. That's got to be a showstopper kill coming in.
You're looking for it. Hero's the one to find Melzer though. The paint shell goes in and it's just a clear pickup. This is looking far too clean. How are Fnatic doing this? Just dismantling Crew player by player. And now the last two players noted, look at the lurk from Hero as well. If Chronicle could just play his life, he doesn't need to overdo anything, just sets up Hero here. And Chronicle's always been ice cold. He's never going to overheat. And Fnatic, hold on, Josh. That was a picture-perfect round, it feels like.
It feels like. I'm going to say, but I am shocked that the only ultimate used in that round was Hero. Kills the B pusher, gets that hat off, becomes a pinhead in the round. Showstopper, Rolling Thunder still in play. Fnatic are winning these rounds without it. And it's yes, they're hitting their shots now. Yes, like Boaster's getting involved. Alpha's getting a couple kills here or there, slowly catching back up to the rest of his team. But like one small slip, and they might be kicking themselves for not using them. Another eco, 4 Sheriffs and a Stinger in the hands of Crew. Letting this game potentially slip away. Fnatic.
This would be 9, the slow march.
Slow
march, but you don't, come on, Crew, we don't drop these, right? We don't lose these sort of situations, do we? 11 up. You had Durka looking down and out, Alpha barely fragging. It was all looking wondrous. Speaking of looking, camera. Yeah, look
Stun
at that.
ready as well. They're going to catch these guys.
Yeah, that's a trap set and a half. Durka going to get away, and no one able to close down on those kills.
Still over a minute. Fnatic has time. They can decide to pivot if they want to, or they can come back, or they can fake pivot and re-hit A. The full rotation from Crew, trying to stay a step ahead of Fnatic here. Gonna guess on that B site. Fnatic looking to use middle here, though.
I like that. I like the Crew are trying to be proactive here. And that's going to be a little bit of an alarm bell ringing, though, because they're up middle. They're up the guts here. What on earth is going on? Already the Boombot going to go in. That's going to spot out at least 2 players. They now know there's 2 different players up here. This should be yet a back away. Nice read from Fnatic to not overdo this, but they're still going into the stack.
Melzer.
This is where the dangers could begin. Kesnit now in the right place, but Boaster going to remove Shy. You're looking at who's holding over towards B main. He's the only one to connect so far for Crew. And Fnatic again, starting to clear through methodically. Is this the slow march back in? It might just be. 9 rounds now for Fnatic. And Crew watching this game get far too close.
I can't pinpoint exactly which round it was, but there was the genesis of Fnatic's comeback coming back in. That's 5 rounds in a row, bringing the scoreline to 9 to 11 right now.
There's no way. There's no way, right? Come on. Boaster's up. He's giving it.
What are we having you? We're coming back, boys. What are you doing? What?
Oh, God.
That's the guy you're currently getting 5 rounds in a row by. Boaster, if you've pulled out your headphones, if this is
you kicked the table.
If this is you, I'm going down there. It's a hero issue. All good. All right. He's young.
He gets a pass.
It's fine. He's, But let's kind of just pause for thought then. Let's kind of talk this through, because on the half, I think it was a fair assessment that this was looking like Crew are going to close it out, right?
Yeah,
and then
absolutely.
they got the pistol. You're like, oh, the odds of that, the odds that Fnatic would come back in. But here we are at 9 to 11. Well, it's been now 5 back-to-back rounds and quite good-looking rounds. What would be your solution? Put yourself in Crew's shoes here. You're facing a Fnatic who's slowly building back in. What do you do? What's your cure, I guess, to this
We have
problem?
to keep in mind the rounds that Crew won where they got both pistols.
True.
Converted round 2s where Fnatic ran
Yes.
5 classics, won the bonus. That's 6
That's
rounds
big. That's
right
already
there.
big, yep.
Then in there, 6 rounds. And then, 7 and 8 because Fnatic has to eco right after.
Correct.
They only really have 3 gun rounds. Maybe if you want to include the bonus rounds on top of that, they have 5 gun rounds. So right now, it's very one-sided in the favor of Fnatic. So what happened on those rounds that KRU was able to pick up? Well, partially it was that Durka, Alpha weren't really shooting back a little bit. That's a big problem. But also, KRU got to set the pace, set the tone of everything. On their attack, they got into the sites, they forced the retakes, and they shut it down. They were constantly jamming up Fnatic, not letting them have any space into the game. And on defense as well, they started pretty aggressively, taking that space down middle, taking some early fights. But right now, they're kind of shook. They're playing back. Yes, they had that trap setup with that camera. Cheeky setup. I like it. Weren't able to capitalize on it. Get over to B. They guess the right site. Fnatic goes into it. Not able to get the kills because they don't have the right weapons for it. But now, pull out an op. Stay ahead of where Fnatic's going. They've been doing all this B main control with that one-way smoke from the Omen, taking that space, denying Hero the ability to lurk up or anything. But I still look at these ultimates from Fnatic as well. They're still in play. And maybe if they lose a player because KRU's able to get one early or change something up, that's when Fnatic pulls it out, says, you know what, nope, not happening, and go back into the game. Stun ready for tiles in case there's an aggressive push by Kesnet down middle, but it's the B main control again from Melzer.
I'm also looking at the switch up of the operator as well. Kesnet finally going on to that, and look at the faith they're putting in him over towards A. That's pretty much an isolated site and an isolated player, and he still looks like he's holding his ground comfortably enough. Already, actually, Melzer's on the chopping block. Here we go. You wanted ults. You might just get him, but do they get to close down in time? Melzer's not really got anywhere to run and hide, and the showstopper goes astray. A 1-for-1 trade out, and Hero's the one they lose.
This op on the A line, they won't expect it. That pull-away smoke needs to happen before anybody peeks, and they need to get across that line. Kesnet, if he gets a 1, he could definitely sprint away. He's got that character with that sprint. Loves to go fast. Go fast, go fast.
He's going to back away, though. Maybe starting to feel it, that internal clock starting to tick. That little bit of a warning message, feeling, okay, there's no pressure on B. They've got to be maybe shifting back towards A. And he's got the right read. He's got to hit the shot.
Fnatic love contacting up into the line. Durka going first. The jump spot this time.
Perfect.
Beats it out. How do they know?
Oh, but he's still going to get his man. Takes down Durka, and look at him. He's going back for more. Outrageous. He gets punished for it. Gluttony being his sin, trying to go back for that follow-up, but a 3v3 now on the site under Fnatic's banner. You're looking at what they're going to get done here. You're looking at maybe a pre-take. Where's that pressure?
10 seconds left.
Nothing so far. They wait. They play it patient.
If Shy, if anybody gets a kill here, Shy can pop his hat, get the info, and close out the round. Good flash.
The Chronicle's been so good at this. They try and swing together, but now the site is under scrutiny. Already going to see a slip through. You're right. Boaster backing away, but it's Alpha, the babyface killer, holding this still. Looks for another. Can't get him. A Chronicle on the readjust. Good positioning from him. And they have no idea about Boaster, who's slowly creeping back. Fnatic are at the door, and KRU are crumbling.
Gotta wipe that smile off your face. You're gonna get accused of a little bit of bias. Chronicle sitting at 24 kills.
He's had an absolute belter of a series.
He's been hitting everything. His darts have been on point. He's been getting the kills with the Hunter's Fury. And then on that defense to keep enough life in Fnatic to keep them alive, to be able to even get to this point off the back of 2 mega rounds from him as well. 10-11. And an eco again for KRU. That B main control, again, spot Melzer in there. It seems like KRU doesn't really have that much depth right now. They're scared of going down middle. Alpha's been setting up that tile stun. They've been taking B main every round, but it gets them nothing. It's all these rounds towards A. They need to get that first kill. They need to shut Durka down. And they need to have people to follow it up. Stun ready.
But no one to swing on it. They
Cypher,
do go around.
They do have the Cypher cam spotting it for info at the very least. That would be the trigger.
And now Kesnet back in a place where they could capitalize on it, but it looks like a late clear towards middle, a late round adjustment.
Last time Fnatic did this, they did go through middle a little bit. Durka trying to kind of feel it out. But here, is it just going to be a straight up market split?
Looks like it could be. Already though, KRU trying to hit that rotation at the right time. This got dangerous before. Already.
45 seconds.
You can have MTA here. They've got a couple of ults to play with. Delay over towards main. Melzer having to evacuate as quick as he can because they are starting to be feeling that pinch, feeling that pressure. Fnatic now starting to come forward, but KRU, right place, right time. Melzer and MTA with back-to-back shots, keeping control of the site. And now at 25 seconds, it's a mad dash. Where do they go on this one? Smoke up towards CT to try and facilitate the cross, but it's Boaster to try and divide and conquer. Takes away Heat, but
Back to
Crew
B.
still in this round. Yeah, the double?
12 seconds.
There's no way, 10 seconds now. And MT has no idea. Oh my god, no! Boaster almost whiffed it, but it's going to be a plant. They've got it down. Running this left, right, center. This is ridiculous. How is this in a 2v2? But you've got Alpha up against Kesnet, Melzer against Boaster, but he's there so early, and he gets a jump. Done! Kesnet finding that form when they needed him most here. 12 for Crew, securing at least OT.
At least OT. And Kesnet was sleeping the last, I don't even know, like 7 rounds almost. He was sitting at 17 kills since round, I think 15 or so.
Yeah.
Now he's on 20 kills after he just got a 2K in this round. Back and forth, huge opening kills. Shy's Sheriff there on site. Stinger follow it up. Fnatic, oh man. Gotta dig deep here. They have that Cosmic Divide, but they're going against a few ultimates. And now maybe Resurgence. Kesnet feeling confident again. He's got his ultimates, the jazz hands, the finger blasters. So is he going to go and sprint around now with that confidence that, you know, I just got a 2K?
Maybe.
Close out this game, potentially, Crew, or go the distance.
Yeah, the fake comeback potentially, who knows? But now Fnatic trying to keep their cool. Heard the operator rattle off a shot. Durka making his presence known.
I wonder when they're going to swap it out, give it to the hands of the most competent opera on the team, Boaster.
That's true. It's weird he's not picking it up here. How strange.
This is different from Fnatic. They haven't done this before where they're walking out middle at the same time as they're taking this A main space. They're going to go and push this back, but at the same time, they have this subterfuge just ready to get in the back lines here. Hero tanking that drone, shrouding Boaster's presence. A main control is coming silently, but it's here.
Here comes the pressure. Kesnet actually hindered a little in that. Can't shut it down, can't close the space.
50
now,
seconds.
Yeah, the time's starting to tick.
Boaster's got that ultimate. I do wonder if he's going to pop this. They can commit right back into B with it, but already Crew staying a step ahead of this. Fnatic need to figure out where has Crew gone, how are we going to use this ultimate. They use it across A link and spawn before.
30 seconds left.
They might do it again here. Get onto that site. Smokes up first.
24 seconds, though, it's getting late in the day, and Shy could be devious about this. Right place, right time, and the perfect kill. Couldn't get the follow-up, though. Alpha still going to stand his ground, but that spike cross is a problem. 13 seconds, they've got to try and make this one count. Can they get through? Hero living up to the moniker, finding 2. But now Crew down to the last 2. Kesner's still alive, so there's still a threat, still danger. Alpha doesn't want any of that. He wants to make sure this one's secure. They answer back again. Crew now held at 12, and Fnatic with the opportunity to get to OT.
It all led to this one point right here. Crew going to call a timeout. They have to. They need this round to take this map in relegation. I mean, this is the last chance to use this timeout.
You have to.
Might as well. Closing this game out 13-11 is going to be way easier than going the distance in overtime, getting Fnatic the chance to be able to close out this first map, steal out the map pick from Crew after Crew had such a big dominating lead. Going into Haven after losing this, that's going to be all in favor of Fnatic. Oh boy.
This changes everything, right? This next round, even if it goes to OT and Crew still win, the mental impact alone is going to be monumental. So as we stand, we look at the buy for Crew coming into this. It's not perfect. They've got a couple of ults. They've got Kesnet's ult there, and they do have the hat for Shy. But you're looking at maybe 1 rifle, it looks like. Judges, stingers. It's not what you want.
To be fair,
tell me about it.
The last time they conjured up a round, it was off the back of the Sheriffs and the Stingers.
It was.
If there's any round that they're going to win, this is the type of round. We've been seeing it today. We've been seeing it yesterday. We see these rounds. The times when you're like, well, you know, just buy whatever, make something happen. That's when the miracles happen. That's when the magic happens. So will it be another magical round from Crew to be able to close out 13-11? Or is it going to be Fnatic crawling back, making it a real comeback, not just a fake one?
Chronicle with the ult? What's the starting line? Maybe to almost kind of feign that it could be Durka, and then he closes the gap. I'm curious what the plan is off the rip.
This allows Durka to be able to move up with it.
Yeah. They
need to hit the shot on Melzer if Melzer does push up this angle right now.
Whoa.
That's info. That's the setup spotted again.
Can they punish him, though? I don't know if they can.
Cover going out.
With the stun line from Alpha, they can if they want to. They just don't know what's behind it.
Yeah. And Mel's has been good at this. He, as we've highlighted, he's consistently taken that B lobby space. He's generally held his ground incredibly well. But, as you said, would you risk it here? You're probably question marking that for now. As Fnatic drifting away from it.
He does a good job. Yeah, he does a good job of just stalling out Fnatic. Because he uses the one-ways, then he backs up, uses the paranoia, backs up, teleports out. He can get away from all these abilities. The wasted time and abilities from Fnatic. As they inch up towards A here. Shock a trip. We found out that's, you know what? That's going to be the Cypher on A. That's going to be pressure. They're pivoting. Are they going to get caught here, though? The 4-man mid-walk from KRU.
Oh my god, this is what it comes down to.
Remember, Kesnet, he's got the stinger, but he's got his ultimate in play, too. Durka going down.
And now do they just force forward?
The judge,
they have no idea on the other side of the smoke. Could be their downfall, a disaster. No, Hero going to keep it moving, but still number advantage. All comes out. KRU in the final moments here. Could close it out in regulation. Deny the turnaround. And stalled out and slowed down. Chronicle and Alpha in a 2v4. Chronicle slipping a little bit further ahead, but the cross being watched. Problems start now. 12 seconds. It's too little. Surely it's too late. Alpha can't do it all alone. And a glimpse of glory for KRU. Snatch back their game. Map 1 is theirs.
A little bit of resurgence there as well from Fnatic. But, oh, I don't know if that big comeback is going to bite them with their endurance for the rest of the series.
And that's the question we'll find out after the break.
Context. Gave my heart, you said it.